Hi, Nachum.
Hi,
Uh,
Tzipi.
and first of all, I'll be very happy if you give us a short CV about you and what is your role in HeartMath.
It's good to see you, Tzipi. I'm the principal data scientist at HeartMath, so I really am involved in any data that we're doing, and we have a lot of different data at HeartMath. We have heart data and tree data and geomagnetic data and global consciousness project data. So there's just like a ton of things that I get to do there. And my background from is kind of like there's a heart and a math side to my background. So the math side of it is I got a Ph.D. in computational physics in Stanford, and then I went on to do some data science work in Silicon Valley and the tech companies there for a number of years, and particularly at Quantifind, and we looked at global sentiment, and then this kind of led me up to HeartMath on the technical side. And the heart side was more something my personal. I've been meditating for more than 10 years and doing different practices, and the heart has become more and more something that's important to me, not just the head. So I really wanted to do something that brings both of these together. And so I've been at HeartMath for over 3 years now, really enjoying doing a combination of these works, and in particular, the lead scientist on the Global Consciousness Project 2.0, which has led to some really cool collaborations with one field.
We don't have much time to speak about the global consciousness number two, yeah, but just that people will understand the graph. If you can tell us just a little bit about the net, I mean, yeah, and also how many random event generator you used.
The project in general is aimed at looking at a way to measure how the global coherence, in a sense, how coherent we are as a people. And the hope of the project is to motivate and inspire people to be more intentional and care about that we're all connected and what we do matters. So the way we measure it is one of the ways is whenever there's a big event, sometimes it's a global event where something big happens that captures everyone's attention. Of course, we looked at, for example, you know, the conflict that's happening in Israel. We've looked at big meditations that bring a lot of peace, that a lot of people are meditating. And when these things happen, and a lot of people are coherent, then this network of random number generators, they're supposed to be random. They're not supposed to show anything, but they do show a coherence. They start to act in sync with each other. So it's mirroring almost the coherence that's happening for the people. So what we do is then we try to and based on decades of the Global Consciousness Project number one, we try to look at events and think of, okay, what events we think are gonna cause the network to show us strong, behavior, coherence of all the random number generators. And in that way, we build up more evidence for this to happen, and we also can learn more about it, things we didn't know. So one example is we've done with some one field events, like this most recent one in July on the bringing together for peace, and we looked at this global network which has been growing. So it's a total of about 750 RNGs or more. It's actually more that we're looking at during this event, and this number is growing. We're going all the way up to 1,000 devices. But this is already a massive network that we've really never done before. I don't think anyone's ever done before in this kind of way. So, and we're hoping with one field events where the focus is compassion and global coherence, we're actually having an intention to have a coherent planet, that this will show up, even though maybe the numbers of the people attending the event are a little smaller than, some of the events we look at. And even a small event, if it's powerful, can affect the global network. So we've seen this in other examples. And so it is interesting and meaningful to look at. And so this one, we're really, interested to see with intention how that goes.
Okay, so can we see the graph that came out from our event?
Sure. Yeah, so here we had a piece experiment, and it ran for roughly an hour. And of course, there were people joining online from all over. And uh, I can't remember exact numbers, of several hundred people. So the way we broke this down for this one is we looked over the course of the event, starting right at the beginning of the event here and over around 60 minutes. And we looked at how the behavior of the network coherence, or the way that the RNGs are all, we're talking about, like, they're all acting together. So what we do is we look at this red curve that represents this coherence of the whole network. And the blue is a significance threshold. So we want to know if it's statistically significant. So if the red curve comes out of the blue, and it can go really either way, if it would go out, that would be called significant. So here we didn't see full significance, but we did see near significance. And since we're still exploring how this works, even this is meaningful to us to help understand what's happening. We repeat over many events, for example, and accumulate the statistics. Sometimes something like this will contribute. In the end, you'll get an acute over many events, you add it together, and it might be a strong effect that goes out of the envelope. So here, if we break it down, we have the opening music, which happened at the beginning, and the network seemed to kind of hold flat, like not so much was happening. And then there was HeartMath's Dr. Roland McCready was giving a lecture with some slides, and then he led a meditation that was focused on global coherence. And it appears that this was perhaps a more strong effect was happening in the network during this time. It could be that this intention on the global coherence, it could be that the network was picking this up. Especially as, we've been involved a lot, and Roland's been involved a lot in this project. Once you get past that, you get into, there were some other lectures and some closing music, and the signal is more flat again. It was more random. It's not showing so much coherence. It's a little bit. And so overall, I just thought this is really interesting. It suggests that there's, something happened. If you had to guess which part of the event was going to cause the biggest effect, you might have guessed that it was indeed in this middle portion. And so it suggests that. But again, because it's not a full significance, we're not going to make a strong claim out of it, but we are definitely intrigued by this and want to learn more and see what comes out of future events too.
And what about after, when he finished the meditation, and we went on to the sheikh, the prayer of the sheikh and the rabbi? So, I mean, it's still in the lower part. It didn't go up. Yeah, I mean, what we can learn.
Yeah, there's definitely, you can see a continued downward trend throughout it. And so that does, if there is, if we're considering this to have an effect here, it suggests that it's continuing. There's a continuing effect, similar effect that's kind of persisting through the whole event, so that the event continues to influence the network. Maybe the strongest point is shown here, where it really takes a sharp downward move, but it continues that even for the rest.
Okay, so is there something I didn't ask that you want to say, or?
I guess I'll say this is really interesting work, and I really enjoy collaborating with you guys. I think HeartMath and One Field go pretty far back, and I love this kind of work that I do, and I like to share it and to just hear what people are thinking, and to feel more connected to everyone in this way. So
Nice. So
thank
maybe we'll
you.
have, yeah, maybe we will have more. Sometimes I hesitate if to ask, if you are too busy just to do another experiment.
Yeah, we can always we can continue with them. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Nachum. It was nice. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.